And don't forget, when we have to have special meetings, put the prayer and that the pledge. This country was built on loyalty to a piece of fabric and prayers.
Absolutely.
My whole life's built on prayers.
Names are alive and recorded.
Good morning. Welcome to the Pocomoke City Mayor and Council Special Meeting. A vote took place last night to have an emergency open session. Notice was given to the public by way of Facebook and also by way of on online publishing on our website. We're going to jump right into the call of order. Today we have Councilmember Highland, Councilmember Marshall, Councilmember Cotman, Councilwoman Downing, and Councilwoman Marsh could not be here. We're going to move right into item number 2, resolution number 2025 ER, allocation of ARPA funds. Council, because today is the last day for us to allocate this money by way of resolution, I would like to entertain a motion to make this an emergency resolution. Councilwoman Downing has submitted proxy to go ahead and make it an emergency resolution. So I will entertain a motion.
Make a motion to make resolution number 2025 ER-8 an emergency resolution.
Second.
Motion's been properly moved in second. All those in favor use the sound aye. Thank you. We will utilize Councilwoman Downing's vote from last night in agreement that this would be an emergency resolution. Resolution number 2025 ER-8, allocation of ARPA funds, an emergency resolution of the Mayor and Council of Pocomoke City, Maryland, to utilize American Rescue Plan Act ARPA funds for the purpose of purchasing essential vehicles and equipment for the Pocomoke City Police Department and office equipment for the Pocomoke City Administrative Department. Whereas the Mayor and Council have determined that the American Rescue Plan Act funding is needed in the amount of $300,994.45 for the purchase of vehicles and equipment for the Pocomoke City Police Department, equipment for the Pocomoke City Administrative Departments, and whereas the purchase of new vehicles and equipment would serve to provide more efficient city operations by significantly updating the city's vehicle fleet and accessory equipment, and by modernizing the city's information technology equipment, allowing for improved cybersecurity, lowering low-range maintenance costs, providing a safe and dependable vehicle, and improve working conditions and ensuring the provisions of effective services to the Pocomoke City residents. And whereas ARPA funding is an allowable source for the aforementioned purpose and must be obligated by the city by December 31st, 2024 and spent by December 31st, 2026 in order to ensure compliance with federal requirements. And now therefore, it is hereby resolved by the Mayor and Council of Pocomoke City, Maryland, that $309,794.45 will be drawn from available ARPA funding and utilized to fund vehicles and accessory equipment for the Pocomoke City Police Department and administrative office equipment for the Pocomoke City Administrative Departments. Be it further resolved by the Mayor and Council of Pocomoke City, Maryland, that this resolution shall take effect from and after the date of its approval by the Mayor. Thank you. We'll now enter into our public hearing. If you have any comment, please come up to the microphone, state your name.
So Janet Radowski, Eastern Shore Post. So what's going on with the meeting yesterday when you talked about the building for Public Works?
Could you turn her microphone up? So Janet, because we did not have the bids for the building for Public Works, we weren't able to move forward with that under ARPA funding. Now, what would have had to happen was it would have already, the bid would have already have had to have been awarded for us to move forward with that. But in my conversation with Ms. Matthews last night, January 6th, the city is, the mayor and council are expecting to have bids for the new public works building. And Ms. Matthews is gonna work her magic and find money for that to happen. So because we didn't have concrete bids, we were unable to do it. Our police department and our city department did have a state bid, which was still valid for vehicles, and we wanted to complete our police department fleet. So that is something that we won't have to worry about come fiscal year 26. We'll be able to use that money for other things. Ain't that right, Councilmember Holland? Sidewalks and community center. That's all we're talking about then.
Okay.
All
Thank
right,
you.
you're welcome.
Mayor, council, just like to tell all of you, thank you for the support. 3.5 years ago, I don't know that I thought it was possible to update our equipment and get to the point where we are right now with PD. I mean, we were 10, 12 years behind a lot of other places, and it's just phenomenal.
We remember.
It's just
We remember.
phenomenal, the turnaround that we've been able to make, and we've been able to do it. Not because of me, but because of, I got good people to work with, like all of you. The finance director, Mr. Barkley, that this is, I can't tell you how proud I am of the direction where everything is going, and I couldn't have possibly seen it. Thank you, guys.
So Chief, I do have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
How soon can we expect to see these vehicles? How soon can we expect to see these vehicles on the road?
The police vehicles? Okay, so there's 2 more that's gonna be delivered Friday. The ones for the administration will be delivered here Friday. Now, what our holdup is with all of them is there's one place on the entire Eastern Shore that outfits the vehicles. They do a phenomenal job. I mean, an absolute phenomenal job. But right now, we're scheduled for March to get our vehicles outfitted. I can wait 90 days, but just having them here and knowing that all the old white Crown Vics with the ugly yellow markings on them, they're all gone. There's none of them in the back parking lot anymore.
Hey, Chief, me and Scott, I'm sure Scott Brooke, she might even remember the little like Jeep, CO would remember the little like Jeep looking vehicles.
Backseat was small.
The one that Dale Trotter used to drive back in the day.
When Mr. Mayor, when I first came here, and it's very common in small departments that when you get new vehicles, a lot of the emergency equipment is recycled out of the other vehicles. So you got a new vehicle with old equipment in it. And I'm proud to tell you guys that we don't operate that way anymore. We get a new vehicle, it's got all the modern technology in it for these officers to do their job efficiently and effectively for our community. And again, I can't tell you how proud I am. Thank you.
I have a question. Just to make sure moving forward for my, but these vehicles, additional vehicles and everything that we are talking about here today to use this ARPA funding for, they're under contract, correct?
Correct. So how I purchase these vehicles on the state contract bid. State contract bid is going to be the lowest possible price that we can get anywhere, and we're not, of course, required to have 3 quotes when we're piggybacking off the state contract bid. I have a preference between the Dodge and the Fords because of the cost, but sometimes you got to take what's available and go with it, make it work.
So with the outfitting and that is for the schedule to happen in 90 days, all that is under contract as well through the state bid?
So the outfitting is not through a state bid, but the one vendor everywhere here on the shore, Natural Resource Police, Ocean City, Worcester Sheriff's Office, Wycomico Sheriff's Office, Talbot, Queen Anne's, everywhere uses this one place. There's no competition, is no one else. That's why they're backed up the way they are, but, they do an absolutely phenomenal job outfitting these vehicles.
But as far as the funding goes, that goes to outfitting those vehicles, that's already obligated and contracted to them. And I'm asking these questions just for the sake of clarity,
Sure.
because there'll be questions about it. I just want to make sure that everything there is already under contract and we are good to go.
So it's like a package deal. When I put together documents, let's say to purchase 3 vehicles.
Right.
So I have the price of the vehicle itself when we're purchasing them from Hertridge Fleet. Then I'll also have an estimate of what it costs to get the graphics on each vehicle. And then I also have the quote for what it costs to
So,
outfit the
so
vehicle.
here's the thing. So I don't know, and I kind of said this to Harvin last night. We have the ability, and it's probably something we really need to start doing on certain things, but we have the ability to do, to put out RFPs for certain services. And that RFP will be covered once a year. Honestly, like when it comes to like HVAC in City Hall, the police department, EMS.
Internet.
Yeah, exactly. Different things like that. We should be putting out RFPs at the beginning of the year and awarding contracts in case something breaks. And so it's the same situation with the outfitting. They're awarded a contract. I know, Chief McCready had talked to us a couple of times about doing it for the ambulances. So that's something else, honestly, that we really.
Speed up the process on a lot of things, so we don't have to get bids every time, we just.
You know,
target.
my main
Right.
concern here was with this funding, it had to be allocated, had to be contracted date. It sounds like we checked that box.
Mhm.
Thank you.
And the same vendor, if we have, any problems with our equipment, we don't let anybody else work on any of the electronics or the electrical. It goes right back to the same vendor, so.
You do what you do.
Well, I'ma just
You
tell-
handle the police department.
I'm gonna just tell y'all like this, get your bid updated form for 2025.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief.
Council, is there any more? All right, I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve emergency resolution number 2025-ER-8.
Second.
It's been properly motioned and I don't know who it's the second by, but it was second. It's been properly motioned and seconded. All those in favor use the sound aye. Those that oppose, you have the same right. We're moving to comments from the, so moved, thank you. We're gonna move into comments from the council members. Holland, Marshall.
I would hope that moving forward as we go into 2025, that we don't find ourselves in this position again. We've got a good staff in place here, with Ms. Matthews, Ms. Stafford, Mr. Barkley. Let's be a little more proactive, so we're not meeting here on the last day of the year, trying to spend money that we should have spent some time ago. I appreciate you guys' effort last night, to get us to this point. That was above and beyond the call of duty, and I thank you for that. But let's not do it again.
Happy New Year, everyone.
We'll move on to comments from the mayor. I agree with, Councilman Marshall. I laughed because I felt like he just kind of like said it for the both of us. I didn't mind getting on a meeting last night because it needed to happen, but we shouldn't have never had to have done that. And I appreciate the openness, especially last night when we're really trying to put our heads together and try to figure out how to make it work and these suggestions. We have a great team here in Pocomoke City, but we have to do better at being proactive. I've said this since the day that I walked in this door. The city has always been reactive. We've always found ourselves putting out fires. We need to start being more proactive in circumstances and situations. So moving, a running list. Public Works Building needs to be on the list. Appointment for, planning and zoning needs to be on the list. Comprehensive plan bids need to be on the list. CDBG money for rec center needs to be on the list. Finding money for infrastructure, roads and sidewalks needs to be on the list.
Roads and sidewalks.
You got, what you said?
Roads and sidewalks.
Did I just say
Yeah,
sidewalks?
no,
Road-
I think you said roads, but I just wanted.
Roads and, my bad.
Double tap that.
Roads and sidewalks. It needs to be on the list. It's time to take a proactive stab at this stuff. Have y'all looked at downtown lately? Couple vacant buildings. What are we gonna do to get those buildings filled? I can assure you that I'm not coming to a town with busted roads and busted sidewalks and nothing for my kids to do. It's just time for us to make some magic happen. We've got the ability. That's all for me. Comments from the city manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Agreed with everything that's been said today. And thank you on behalf of staff for your support of this last minute initiative. We appreciate you, particularly your time, Mr. Mayor, last evening and all other times when you go over and above the call of duty to get things straight with us. We will make a resolution as a staff to face our weaknesses and improve upon them. And you'll see a marked difference in the way that we operate in this coming year. So we're optimistic about the improvements that we can make as a staff. And we look forward to the new year with the mayor. Thank you.
Any comments from the audience? And Brandy, Ms. Matthews, thank you. Chief, thanks for answering my call this morning. And Melinda, thank you. Mr. Barkley, thank you. Seeing as there's no comments from the audience, Mr. East, you got something to say? You sure? They said they can find the money to get you a building. And we're gonna hold them to it. January 6th, they have to put 3 bids in front of us for your new building. Since there are no comments from the audience, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn this thing.
Second.
All those in favor use the sound aye. All those that oppose, you have the same right. Don't y'all call me till next year.
Yeah, we're good.
Want somebody?
One thing that, I noticed this last night when I was downtown. I mean, we